Now, what's a systems analyst? Okay, in accounting, a systems analyst is a guy who determines what information a company needs in line of, what does our company need in the line of information. Okay, so he determines that. Then he determines where he's going to have to go to get that information. And then he has to determine what it will take to not only get the information, but turn it into something that these managers can actually read. And he has to find the least expensive way to get that information to the managers. Okay. So first he goes to the managers and he says, okay, what information do you need? And then he says, all right. He goes around, he takes a look at where he's going to get all this information from, and then he finds the most inexpensive way to retrieve that information, and then he finds some inexpensive way to turn that information to something that would be readable to the management. And when he does that, he says, okay, data processing department, we want to do this. This is the information the management needs. This is the information where we're going to get it from, and we want you to take that information you're getting and turn it into something that these managers can then actually read. And that's what a systems analyst does. Alright. Now, it does get to be kind of interesting on something like this, because systems analysts work with data entry clerks. Now here comes the problem. If the systems analyst can hire a server-side script web developer, keep that in mind, a server-side script web developer. And this is not just any web developer. This is not some kid that plays a little HTML in his bedroom and, oh, look at the pretty little pictures. We're talking somebody that actually works with XML, with SQL, something like that. Alright, this guy works with Net Framework and that kind of stuff. So he hires some fancy smancy web developer, and this web developer develops a web page in which customers enter their names, addresses, phone numbers, so on and so forth. So basically the customers are doing this data entry work. And all his web thing does is he collects all this information in a certain format, and then he turns it into something presentable for the management. Now that eliminates a whole bunch of data entry clerks, because in the old days, when a customer came in, they would have a little card or something. They'd fill out the name, the address, the phone number, so on and so forth. And that data entry clerk would take that card, punch it into some computer, and bam, there you go. Well, now that all these fancy smancy web developers have come about, data entry jobs are just like gone. It's really tough to find a data entry job these days. I'm not kidding you. So every time you get a real fancy smancy web developer to do all this data entry work, well, say goodbye to your data entry department, because that's what happens. It really does. And that's all I got to say for this video. So I will tell you more in a future video. Stay tuned.